Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the food shortages that are coming. As a matter of fact, we have been talking about these things for years. And recently I've been, looking at articles and things that are talking about this even more because we need to understand what's going on, right? And it is being said now that it's no longer a conspiracy theory because a lot of people, as we've been talking about this over the years, we've talked to a number of people directly, and some were like, what are you going to be growing your own food for? Just go to the grocery store. They weren't really taking heed. And it was kind of like one of those things like, what are you talking about? But they are saying now that this is no longer a conspiracy theory. A number of sources have come out just really telling you what's happening and what's going on. And some people still have not taken heed because they just don't believe that it could ever happen within their time. But it is happening, and there is more to come. And let me tell you why. There are a number of different reasons why there are going to be food shortages. We already experienced it last year, when all of this stuff just really broke out majorly. A lot of it was due to businesses closing and not having the staff to do things. People were getting sick and just a number of things happened last year. And so most of us did see where the shelves were clearing out, especially certain items. Certain items were just gone and you couldn't get them, right? And I've even noticed that some of those items still have not been available like they used to be. I mean, you really have to search for them. Okay? But right now, there are a number of different reasons why these food shortages are coming and why people need to take heed and stop playing around with this thing. Why people need to stock up. Let me tell you why. There have been a number of natural disasters that have occurred this year alone that have destroyed or even threatened the food supply. And we're not just talking about in one location, we are talking about globally. When you look at what happened in China, in Europe, Germany, here in the US, various regions around the world, they have experienced some type of natural disaster that have damaged or destroyed crops. They're talking about the droughts and the fires here in the U.S. that have damaged and destroyed crops. We recently looked at a report where almond trees, fruit trees, just a number of different farms that have thousands of acres of produce have been destroyed because of droughts. Now, another thing too that we have to look at, why did the government offer farmers large sums of cash, more than what the crops were worth? Why did they offer them money to destroy the crops? That's the part that a lot of people just don't understand. As a matter of fact, one farmer actually came forward and he said that he, along with other farmers that he knows, received notices from the government saying, look, they would get X amount of dollars per acre to destroy their crops. And they were like, what would you give us this kind of money to destroy the crops for? And so some of the farmers, they said, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to take this stuff to market just like it's supposed to go, right? But some farmers actually took it. They actually took the money and destroyed the crops. So you got to ask yourself, why? Why is the government doing that? And then there's the whole thing with the shipping, the freight, the transporting of not only food, but livestock. There have been some type of interruption in the whole transmitting, or the whole transit system for getting food from one place to the other. Why is all of this happening? All during this pandemic. Something is on the horizon, family. When you look at all of this is not time for us to look at and say, oh boy, this is the time to act. This is the time to do what you can. This is the time to do what you can for yourself and for your family. This is not the time to panic. This is not the time to worry, but this is the time to act. Something is definitely on the horizon. These empty food shelves are not just empty because people were just starving that particular week and they said we wanted to have extra food, so let's just do some extra shopping. There has been an interruption in even the supply of food. This is why you see the shortage of food. And this is just the beginning of all of this. It will definitely get to the point where it's going to be far worse than what we are seeing right now. A lot of people are still playing around with this. I see a lot of foolishness and folly still happening on the internet where people are not taking things serious like they should. I see a lot of people who still think that they got time to just mess around, still think that they got time to be caught up in ignorant garbage on the internet, while this other very important stuff is just on the horizon. What kind of moves and preparation are you making towards this, towards reality? It is definitely high time to awake out of this sleep and this slumber that people have allowed themselves to get into. We are in some very serious times, not just with plagues that are happening around the world, but food shortages. It is happening. Natural disasters, they are happening. This stuff is happening. This stuff is no longer a conspiracy theory. It is happening. And the moves that you make right now, today, tomorrow, this week, next month, over the next few months, over the next couple of years, will determine what your outcome is going to be. And on top of all of this, you have people who are about to lose their homes or lose their place of residence. People are losing their income. There is a lot happening right now. A lot of people's lives are about to be turned upside down even more than what it is now. Unfortunately, a lot of this we see happening is because people didn't take heed and they thought that they had more time. So there's that part of it. But then there's the reality that a lot of lives are going to be affected, period. And so it's high time to awake out of this sleep and the slumber that we've been in for so very long. Many of us will continue to sound the alarm. Everybody is being affected. This has nothing to do with just one racial group. You can't just say that this is just happening to black folk, because people of other racial groups are being affected by this as well, losing their place to live, losing their jobs, their income, their stability. A lot of businesses have closed. People are afraid. And when people are afraid, sometimes they act on that fear and do things that they wouldn't normally do. So even though you have those who have prepared and did what they were supposed to do to get themselves ready for this time, you are not out of the dark. Because sometimes when other people didn't prepare, they will look at you who did prepare and try to take what you have. But there's another side to that as well. Because people know this, ain't nobody sitting around like a sitting duck, though. So don't think you can just roll up on somebody and take what they have, especially when people know their rights. They know that they can protect themselves. People have armed themselves and are prepared to protect what they have and to protect their families. In the time that we're living in, nobody is going to be sitting around waiting for you to come and take what they have or force your way upon them. People are going to protect what they have. So you got to keep that in mind too. If you didn't prepare and do what you had to do, if you didn't take every necessary step that you had to take, guess what? Guess what? You have to also consider the fact that people are going to protect what they have. They're going to do it. This is why, even during this whole thing, there was a gun shortage and a shortage on ammunition because people knew what time it was. And so some people didn't just stock up on food, y'all. Some also stocked their ammunition. They stocked up on their weapons as well because they ain't waiting for somebody to roll up on them and take what they've worked so hard for. Just keep that in mind when you think you're going to just roll up on somebody. It don't work like that. So it's a whole lot of stuff happening right now, family. And if you haven't taken heed, you still might have a little bit of time. You still might have a little bit of time. So, hey, it is what it is. Do what you have to do. Protect your family. Make whatever necessary preparations you can. But the future ain't looking good. Perilous times are not coming. They are here. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Until next time, we hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.